It's hard to help people switch their food. There's a lot of emotional components to food too, like, oh, but my grandmother, fed me this and this reminds me of my mom. But I also think that you can eat really clean and well, and it can be delicious. It's easy for us to get into rituals and patterns, and some of those are really good. I mean, it's great to wake up in the morning and, have a ritual of breathing and having some lemon water and then taking your aminos, and doing some rituals that are really positive. But it's also patterns, or we also can get into these patterns that are not so great for us, that might need to be broken. But I do think there's a bonding with food that we've had from childhood, um, with certain foods, besides the biological addiction to it. There's like, cream of wheat's one of them. Like, I grew up on cream of wheat and I just loved that. My mother would make it and put butter in it. Well, I felt crazy on cream of wheat. Um, I didn't know that back then. I just thought, it was love. It is about love. My mother fed me cream of wheat. But now we might offer cream of amaranth, which is a gluten-free grain. It's much more nutrient dense, and it still has that connection with that energy that I got from my mother. So there are ways we can upgrade from those foods that we loved. I believe any recipe your grandmother or mother had, or grandfather, you can upgrade. And you can change it over and make it actually a nutrient dense food that's going to feed your brain and still feed your soul. I think there's probably a few answers to that question, but I think in general people aren't educated. I think even some doctors are not educated in what feeds the brain. It's alarming to many of us, but there's a lot that are. Functional medicine doctors are trained in, naturopaths are trained in it, but a lot of people do not understand nutrition. We're not teaching it in the schools. We're not teaching kids how to feed their brains, so maybe they don't end up in treatment centers. So I feel like the education is the systemic part. I also think a lot of people are addicted to certain foods, and they don't want them, they want to keep eating them too. It's not just addiction to alcohol and drugs, but it's addiction to the foods, and the food industry's done a great job with that. They've done a great job, putting these addictive substances in food, so we can't stop eating them. I feel like more people are waking up to it, but it's kind of that paradigm shift where, we just want people to eat it and taste it, and all of a sudden their brain starts shifting, and then they're like, oh, this actually tastes good. Oh, well, why wouldn't I do this? And oh, this is what protein does, and this is what fat does for my brain. Why hasn't someone told me that? Well, we're telling you now. Let's change up what's on your plate, and you can actually feel great. That's a little rhyme, but